So we have a reverse race rid, as you can see. Robbie Stableford starting at the back there. So the starting positions will be it will be Claudius, Reza, David, Jacob, Mick as the lights go on. And there as a jump start there from David as well, so he's going to have to serve a drive-through penalty, which is a shame. He had such a good start in race one there, so Rez is going to tuck in behind him and use him as slipstream. We saw Robbie there really far off the back. He wasn't joking when he said he was going to take it seriously. There was a little bit of door banging there between Reza and Claudius as they got through. Okay, yes, Reza has got through into second position. Oh, it looks like there was Claudius almost lost the rear there, but I think he's kept it as everyone settles through. As Robbie's been run wide there by Hubert, is he going to be able to keep it on the track? He has ran wide, but and has decided to stay behind. It looks like George there has fallen back as well. He hasn't been able to make a way up through the grid. Jeremy's had a fantastic start there. He is starting around the outside there of Luke, as is Ricardo on Marcel, in the outside. So David has cleared his way at the front there, and there's a spinner in the background. It's one of that looks like it was Claudius. Alex there on board is taking it quite easy. He has still got himself ahead of Robbie. Robbie currently in 11th position, so has taken it very carefully. He was obviously very confident in his abilities to let everyone separate themselves out, and he can pick them off one at a time rather than risking any crashes. So David's clear, but he will have to serve a drive-through penalty. So that will leave Reza in front, although Jacob is trying to take a look at the inside there, but decides against it. Jeremy fires himself up the inside of Mick into fourth, and Mick loses the rear as he comes out of the corner. Allows Ricardo, Luke and Marcel all the way through. It's a shame Mick falls down into 8th position there. There was a little bit of door banging, but I think everyone's going to be okay there. And Jacob is on the outside. Jeremy's on the outside of Jacob, and he touches him. That's the problem with being on the outside. You are vulnerable to knocks like that, especially if the driver in the inside misses their braking point. You can see David is serving his drive-through penalty there, so that allows Reza to go through into first position with Jacob in second. Ricardo Spratt, as the timing screen jumps around because of the drive-through. Ricardo's got a run up the inside of Jacob there. He's on the inside here as well, so he should be able to take the position, and he does. We can start to see Robbie in the background there closing up, and he's going to start making his way through. Oh, there's a little bit of carnage. Everyone's running wide as Luke's up the inside of Jeremy, and Alex is on the outside. Alex could be off in the grass, but no, it looks like there was some racing room, a bit of door banging, but that's okay. As Luke's on the inside here, as Alex has to give way to the position. And there's a little bit of bumper banging, but everything is clean and a lot better than what we saw in the first race last week. Robbie has got himself up to 9th position. Oh, Ricardo's gone off. Did he have a crash with someone? I think there was contact with Reza there. So it looks like Reza may have gone up the inside. Ricardo's gone up the inside, and there's been contact and spun him around, which is such a shame. Ricardo had a fantastic race one of a 3rd position, and it's a shame that we didn't get to speak to him, because I don't think we're going to be able to now. As Mick Sutton and George, Marcel, and Robbie are all making their way through. We can see Jacob on the outside there running wide. He's going to come back on the track and lose a number of positions. As settle down, so Robbie goes up the inside there of Jacob. Alex has run wide through the chicane. That's really going to slow him down as he puts the power down, and he loses it as well. A double whammy. He takes Jeremy with him. Luckily, Jeremy doesn't lose too much time, but he will lose a couple of positions, but doesn't get damaged. And actually, Jeremy does fall down all the way to 7th. So that's a shame for Alex as well. That's gone not what he wanted to do. It just proves you how difficult these cars are when they are unstable, when they run wide. As Jacob comes on the track, runs wide, comes back on, and has contact with Jeremy there as well. It's all kicking off now. The drivers are just running wide and coming back onto the track, where because it's so close, there is no room for error there. So it's such a shame to see a few of the drivers that did so well in race 1 fall down in race 2. Our driver to watch, Luke Weston, goes into the lead, as we can see there on the outside. So he's obviously got a fantastic run coming into the chicane there. So fantastic drive from Luke, finishing the first race in 7th position. Robbie Stableford lurking there in 4th position. I don't think it's going to be too long before he sets himself out and takes the lead. Jeremy is has got Marcel and Mick behind him, so they're fantastic that they're fighting with each other again. I'm sure that the two of them are sick of each other, and they're pretty. But it's fantastic that they're so close. Rez has fallen down to 4th position now, as Robbie Stapleford makes his way up into 2nd position. Does he? Or a little bit of a door bang forces George wide, but I think George is going to get away with that. George in his famous 3rd position. So it's nice to see him back there ahead of Rezi. Jeremy has fallen behind now. You can see the gap visibly open up. 2.6 seconds here. It's a 1-2 for the AT Motorsport team at the moment. So it's great to see. The gap is 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second. That will be down to 2-1 to 0 very shortly. So Alex Brange now making his way back up. Him and Ricardo will have a great battle. They're both very close drivers in terms of lap times. As Alex goes up the lunge on the inside of Mick Sutton, Mick gives him room, allows Ricardo to go through. Is there contact? No, there wasn't. Very clean racing. Mick, I think, appreciating that the two drivers behind are faster than him, so there's no point holding himself up. As Robbie Stapleford sets the fastest lap of a 1:56.0. There was a little bit of contact coming out the last corner between the front two, a little bit of bumper banging. But, and this is allowing George in 3rd place to stay on the back of Robbie. So the longer Luke keeps him behind, which he isn't going to be long. I don't think he got a great run out there, but decided just to back it off. He's going to make his way through these 2 corners here and then potentially lunge up the inside on the left-hand corner coming up. Is he close enough? Is he confident on the brakes? He's showing it. No, he's decided not to. He might try and get the cut back here. So if you can put the power down slightly earlier before Luke, it does allow you the run up the hill, but it's not. If anything, George is closing up to Robbie here. So it's creating a great 3-way battle for the front. And the longer that Luke stays out in front, it might allow Jeremy and Reza to catch up. The lap times are very, very similar at the moment. So Robbie will want to get past Luke as quick as he can, but he also wants to do it in a careful way that he doesn't take Luke out, but also doesn't lose 3rd position. We saw last lap around that Robbie gets a great run up the hill as Jeremy's closing in on Rezi. So he's cleared Marcel now. He gets a run up the inside as George is looking on the outside of Robbie there. That's not really an overtaking move, and Robbie will keep that being on the inside. So Robbie runs a little bit wide. Oh, and Reza and Jeremy have decided to take a shortcut. They will get track limit penalties for that. I think there was a bit of contact there as well, which probably was the reason why that they've forced them. So Jeremy has gone through. Whether it's a contentious one, whether he'll decide to give the place back to Rezi, we'll just have to wait and see there. As Alex and Ricardo are having a battle. We saw them in the first race, 2nd and 3rd. So it'll be great to see them wake their way through the field. The last lap times was 1:56.4 for both drivers, Alex and Ricardo there, which was considerably quicker than Rezi and Marcel in 5th and 6th. So hopefully in the next lap or so we'll see them close up. You can see Jeremy just at the end of the frame there as well. The gap between the top 3 is still relatively close. Luke Weston has got a 3/10 lead over Robbie, but we saw last lap Robbie is very, very quick through this first part of the circuit here. George is slightly fallen back behind Robbie. Let's see what. This is one of the overtaking places for Robbie here. Unless Luke makes a mistake, it's very, very difficult for the next few corners for Robbie to pass Luke. But he has got a nice little run up that hill. But is it going to be enough? I don't think it is. They are teammates after all, and good friends in the real world, as we like to say. So they'll know each other very well. They've been karting together, so they'll know their strengths and weaknesses. And every lap that Robbie is behind Luke, he will know where he can plot out his move. I mean, Robbie's got a fantastic position where he is. He's managed to make his way through the traffic. George will be a concern to him. He's not shaking them off. And Luke and Robbie are bumper to bumper. I think there was some bump drafting going on just before the breaking point there as well. So Luke's defending up the inside here. He's got to be careful with the braking point because George is really going to go up the inside here. It all settles it down. Is Luke going to force Robbie off? Force him out wide? There was a little bit of contact. Robbie does run wide. It does allow George up the inside. There's 3 abreast now as we're going to go across the line. Looks like George has got it. Robbie's going to use the slipstream from George to take second position. Is he? Possibly not. Luke's got the inside line here. The headlights are on for George and Robbie, which in racing terms mean get out of my way, I'm on a charge here. As George defends the inside, takes the lead. Luke manages to retain second, but George runs wide. He hits the curb and unsettles the car. Could Luke go around the outside here? It's a very difficult. That corner is very tricky in these cars. They understeer quite a lot, and Luke has got the run and retakes the lead, and George goes from first to third in a matter of a corner, as they all run slightly wide there. Reza, Marcel, Ricardo and Alex, they are all close together as we predicted a lap or 2 ago. Ricardo has got ahead of Alex, and it looks like Robbie's got the lead now. He would have lunged up the inside. Can Luke get it back? He's far enough along this inside of the left-hander, so Robbie should have the inside here. Luke needs to tuck back in, not touch, and make sure that he can try and retain that second place as George goes for the lunge on the inside. Is he going to get it? There's just about, and all of this has allowed Jeremy to catch up now. So Jeremy has done a fantastic drive of dropping Marcel from earlier on, and as Ressa looks like he's spun, he's dropped down a little bit, but Jeremy's now going up on the attack, just behind Luke. So Robbie is now clear as George gets the little wiggle on the power. George needs to try and stay as close as possible to Robbie. He needs to make sure that Robbie cannot get ahead like he did in the first race, as Jeremy does his famous move, late lunge up the inside there. I think we need to rename that Jeremy's corner. I think that's about the 4th or 5th time that he's done that, as Luke takes a little bit of an inside curb there. So can Jeremy catch up with the front 2? Last lap around, Robbie Stapleford did a 156.2. George did a 157.1 and Jeremy did a 156.6. So Jeremy was half a second faster than George last lap around. Fastest lap at the moment does go to Robbie Stapleford with a 156.0, so considerably slower than what we saw in the first lap, but because there's been continual fighting. As Ricardo hits Alex there, is he going to survive? Yes, he is. I think Ricardo might just ease off the accelerator there and let Alex retain that position. It's good, clean, good, fair racing. We always ask if someone pushes to pass, that the drivers back off and allow the driver to retain the position, which they can do, given that they're in a land of their own at the minute. They're 7 seconds ahead of Mick Sutton. So Jeremy's up to 3rd position ahead of Luke. The gap between Alex and Luke is 6.5 seconds, as we can see some door-banging racing going on here between Reza, Jacob and David. David served his drive-through penalty and has clawed his way back through the grid. So David's had some really good pace this weekend. Unfortunately, he missed qualifying because he had a server problem, but managed to get himself up into 10th place, and with the drive-through penalties, he's got him back up to 11th. So it's a great race for him. Hopefully we'll be able to see him carry on that form for the next race, which will be really good to see. David didn't partake in the first round at Hockenheim last week. Lots of support coming through for Jeremy on Facebook. Jeremy and Damien are very, very popular drivers here. Jeremy up into 3rd. He is still staying on the back of them. George has slightly fallen off the back of Robbie. So we'll see the first lap times, the sort of true representations of the lap now that everything has settled down. So Robbie goes across the line and does 54.9, which is 1 second faster than George. And Jeremy was nearly half a second faster than George in front. So Robbie Stapleton, the first person in the 54s for this race. And Jeremy is really, really closing in on him. Jeremy with a fantastic first race at the 5th position, which is what happened to him in the first race at Hockenheim. Unfortunately, he was caught up in some problems last round at Hockenheim, so didn't get to see a good race 2 out of him. He finished 7th. So he's really making the most this time. He's got clear. He's cleared of Luke, and is slowly dropping him back. So hopefully we can see Jeremy continuing to play through the field. The gap to first and second is opened up to 2.2 seconds now. So Robbie is once again going to control the pace. I was hoping George might be able to stay with him and put Robbie under a bit of pressure and try and force a mistake, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like Robbie has just got the pace at this circuit. He's faster here than he was at Imola. Sorry, at Hockenheim. So Imola is obviously a circuit that he enjoys to race around. A lot of drivers were looking forward to racing at Imola. They had that down as their favourite circuit. Brands Hatch GP is next, I think, which again is a very, very popular circuit for drivers. So we're getting close racing throughout the field here. Reza, Jacob and David are still battling away. There's been a little bit of contact. So Claudius just pitted now. He's hit the wall, I think, on the looks of it, so he's probably got some damage there. So Jacob, Reza and David are all very, very close. It looks like Jacob's got a little bit of a run. Reza is defending in the middle of the track. He needs to make his decision. Is he going to defend up the inside or take the racing line? He's taking the middle. He's going to hamper him coming out of the second corner, and it's allowing David to close in on Jacob as well. And as we've seen in the past, Jacob's in a very difficult position. He's going to want to get past Reza as soon as possible, but he can't afford to lose the place to David behind him. So Jacob is showing his hand there. He's gone. I don't know if that was a lunge or if it was a defensive move, but Reza has run wide and has allowed Jacob, but he's decided against it. It's not a great corner here to try and overtake. So there's a little bit of contact there. I think they're going to get away with it. It doesn't seem to have affected Jacob in terms of straight line speed there. So, and here we are, Jeremy. So Jeremy's up to second position. Fantastic. So we'll have to see what happened there. The last lap, so George was around about the same pace. George must have made a mistake going into turn one. So fantastic as Robbie's already coming through and we've got Hubert ahead of him to lap. So Luke Weston is still hanging on to the back of this pack, as we can see Alex and Ricardo at the bottom of the hill there, closing in on them. The lap times around are relatively similar, although Alex was 1.4 seconds faster than Luke the last lap around. So it looks like Hubert had a collision with Hubert, the back marker there. So that's the reason why Jeremy has gone past in the second place, which isn't what we want to see there. Alex and Ricardo need to sort themselves out between them. One needs to take the lead and one needs to follow, and because the more they're fighting, the slower that they are with each other. So they need to work between the two of them to try and close that gap to Luke and George before it becomes too far. As you can see, the Ricardo there wiggling on that very slippery surface on the outside. The longer these two battle, as I say, it allows Luke to keep fourth position. Mick and Marcel are having a battle again. We saw that in the first race at Hockenheim. They were very, very good racing. Looks like Marcel's got the run on Mick. I think Marcel will be a little bit disappointed in his position here. He was a little bit closer to the field. He finished sixth in the first race. As Mick, you could see the car wiggling under braking. I think he's just ever so slightly late on the brakes, and it allows Marcel to go up the inside. Can Mick make a recovery? No. You'll see Mick's trying to get the slipstream, but unfortunately Mick ran just a little bit too deep on the brakes there and allowed Marcel through. So Marcel's on his own now. He's got a little bit of time to try and close the gap, but I think with 2 minutes to go, we're not going to see anything else happen there. So Robbie Staples was 4.3 seconds ahead. Last lap was 3 tenths faster than Jeremy in third position. George with a 1:59.2, which would have been as a result of the back marker. Alex and Ricardo have crossed the line and are again lap times very similar now. Alex was just 4 tenths faster than Luke in fourth. So as I said, the more they're going to battle, the more it allows Luke to stay ahead, and they're 4 seconds behind Luke now. So I don't think that's going to happen as they are coming up to the back marker here. I think this is the marker that hit George, so hopefully they're going to be able to make their way through cleanly here. As Alex spins it, he lost the rear there. I don't think there was contact. Nothing's flashed up on the screen, so I think he may have just lost concentration there, or maybe misjudged what the back marker was doing. But he lost it there under the brakes. You can tend to carry too much speed into the corner before, and it does unsettle the car and can make it very, very difficult to brake as Hubert spins and gets nicely out of the way for Alex there. So that's really helped Ricardo. There's just under a minute to go, so Robbie is coming across the line shortly, so there will be 3 laps to go after this, so there might be enough time. Ricciardo's going to have to set absolute blinders to try and close in on Luke. So it'll be interesting to see what happened last lap around. But as it stands at the moment, we're on board. We're following with Jeremy, and George has got back past Jeremy, going up into the... So what happened there on the last lap? Jeremy did a 158.4, so that must have been a mistake. I don't think there was any back markers around there at that time, which is a shame, as Claudia, once again, unfortunately, spun and run wide and hit the wall. So Jeremy has fallen behind. Luke is still with a shout of getting a podium position here. If these two start slowing each other down or coming into contact with each other, that is going to allow Luke to get his first podium. He's currently on his personal best position of 4th place anyway. He had a 9th and 6th in the first 2 rounds at Hockenheim. So this is fantastic, fantastic racing all the way through the field. Robbie's got an 8.5 seconds lead. He is done and dusted, unfortunately for everyone else. But a lot of support on Twitter, on Facebook, for Alex as well, and I'm sure they'll be head in hands with what they saw there. There is some great battling. Jeremy on the outside, can he get it done? Yes, he can. Can George stop it? Hit the curb, sorry, there, and make the car bounce. George runs a little bit wide, but I think he's going to be okay. Marcel's got a drive-through penalty, which he has just taken, which is a shame. But it's so close between George and Jeremy. Is George going to be able to do a Jeremy on Jeremy's corner? He's got a run. Has he got a run wide? No, I don't think he's been able to get enough power off the corner there to try and do it. He's showing his car, but I don't think Jeremy's going to fall for that. As George clips the curb and hits the grass there, which unsteps the car, and Jeremy runs wide himself in the corner. So it's not over until the checkered flag goes. Robbie Stapleford has just started the last lap with nearly a 10-second lead. Luke Weston's 2.5 seconds, so I don't think he's going to be able to catch. Ricciardo's 3.7 seconds behind Luke now, so although he's got broke free, I don't think he's going to be able to close the gap. Jeremy's on the inside defending. If George is able to take his normal racing line, he will then be able to get... Oh, Jeremy takes a big chunk of the curb there. You can see the car on 2 wheels. Not good for the suspension. You get told off for that if you're a real-life race driver. It'll cost you a lot of money to straighten those suspension out. So where's George going to go for it? This is the final lap. He's got the potential for a lunge up here, although he's now on the outside as Jeremy ran wide. Luke Weston runs wide in the background, keeps it on the track. Can George do the cutback? Keeps it tight. Can he get the run up the hill? Jeremy with a little wiggle on as the power, and he's got alongside. He's on the grass, but Jeremy will have the inside. Does he have his nose out front there, literally side by side? Jeremy should be able to keep the position, and does so. A little bit of a contact there, but I think that's going to be okay. Forces Jeremy just out wide. It will slow them both down, as they both will have to come off the power. There is only one real opportunity left for Jeremy, so Jeremy just needs to keep it nice and calm as George gets a wiggle on. So we're coming up into Jeremy's favourite overtaking corner, as George is on the outside, but this isn't an overtaking position. You're better off taking the normal racing line and getting a run. He takes a big chunk of the inside curb, and it's a lot closer than he was the lap before. So can George do a Jeremy? Jeremy is well aware of that, and he stays as far left as possible. As you can see, he's almost forcing George off the track, and he's taking the inside line and defends it really well, as George almost loses it under braking there. That pretty much solidifies Jeremy's second position, and Robbie Stapleford crosses the line to take race win number 2, fastest lap of a 154.8. A clean sweep from Robbie there, and will undoubtedly give him the championship lead as Jeremy and George finally cross the line. Less than 2 tenths between the two of them. Fantastic personal best position for Jeremy in second. George in his normal 3rd position. Luke with a personal best of 4th place. Ricciardo managed to get himself back up to 5th. Mick Sutton with a great drive there. Mick was further down the field and has taken advantage of certain incidences, so Mick will come through for a personal best this year of a 6th place. Alex will not be happy with his 7th position after everything that went on. Jacob will come across the line in 8th position, but is quite far down. Resi has had a few incidences there. It looks like Alex had a time penalty for track limits that wasn't taken, as well as Luke had a time penalty that wasn't taken. So that's such a shame. So those drivers will get 30 seconds added onto their final position. So that will force, as there's carnage across the line. Luckily, that's the last lap, and they both finished there. Robbie Stapleford, time for some donuts. Yes, please. I am hungry. So, such an unfortunate position for Luke and Schubert, and Mick Sutton got a drive-through penalty as well. So, these final positions are very much provisional, unfortunately. But let's get a word with Robbie. Robbie, we're just watching your donuts as we speak. Very, very good race there for you. You did exactly what you said you was going to do in terms of taking your time. We saw you very, very far off in the first corner, and yeah, you decided. I think you won by over 11 seconds in the end.
Yeah, pretty easy race again. Just stayed towards the back at the start, and then just started to make my way through towards the race, and then I tried to push Luke away to see if we could get him his first podium, but unfortunately that it was just one place off. But yeah, it's when I got by Luke, I just started to pull a gap, and then yeah, it came. We crossed the line in first again, so yeah, good. We're fastest lap again, so that's enough one.
Yeah, exactly. That's an absolute clean sweep for you. Fantastic. You'll definitely lead the championship now. So I presume going forward, you're just going to try and maintain that. What's your skills around Brands Hatch? Is that a strong circuit for you?
Yeah, Brands Hatch is going to be good. I've got a race tomorrow at Brands, and then I've got a race on Saturday morning at Brands, so I'm going to be doing Brands all week, so that's going to be fun.
Fantastic. There's no excuses now.
Oh no.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on a second win and a clean sweep for today.
Yeah, thank you.
We will speak to Jeremy, even though he is going to lose that second place. Hi, Jeremy. A great race for you. You got second place, but I'm not sure if you saw that there was a track limit penalty that you haven't taken, so it doesn't look like you're going to be able to keep the second place, but what a race anyway.
Yeah, I actually didn't see the track limit penalty, no.
There was a number of drivers behind you that have also got it, so you might end up still in second anyway after everyone else.
Nice. I don't even know why track limit penalty was for, because I mean there was one time that I got hit off the track and had no choice, so I'm not sure if that was what I got a track limit penalty for.
Oh, okay. Well, so I've just heard from Tom that might not actually be the case. There's we'll review it afterwards. You might. I don't think that penalty will actually count. So let's act as if you're going to keep your position. Fantastic. I renamed the corner at the bottom of the hill the Jeremy Bend. I think you overtook Marcel 4 or 5 times there in race 1, and you defended and overtook in race 2 as well. You just seem to get a great drive out of the chicane and into the left-hander.
Yeah. Coming out of the chicane can be a little bit scary because the green patch on the outside is very, very slippery. I saw Alex got taken out by it in front of me after the chicane. But yeah, I got a great run coming out there, holding the inside line, and was just able to get on the brakes in the right spot. It was a much better second race than it was a first race.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're really taking advantage of the reverse grid. I mean, we didn't see that last week when you finished 5th in the first race again. So it's great to see you mixing it at the front, and hopefully you'll be able to continue to do so. Yeah,
definitely. Just gotta try and find some time to find Robbie. He's just on a whole different playing field right now.
He is, unfortunately. He is, but great racing anyway. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. So we'll have a quick chat with our third place driver as well. Hi, George. Nice to speak to you for the first time. You've got your standard third position again. So you had third position in both races in Hockenheim and a 4th in the first race today. So how was your weekend overall?
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for putting it on. We all enjoyed this very much. And yeah, third place again. I guess that's the lucky spot for me, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that will do well for the title as well. We saw Ricardo and Alex having a bit of issues in the second race, and they were dropping down the field. So it's all good for your championship positions.
Yeah, that's great.
Great. Well, it was nice to speak to you, George.
You as well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Now, let's see if... Hi, Ricardo. I thought I'd drag you into the commentary box after we neglected you in race 1. So race 1 was great. You got a great podium there. I mean, how was your second race? We saw you getting caught up a little bit, but managed to get 5th overall in the end.
Hello, Scott. Race 1 I was pretty happy with. I mean, let's face it, there was no one going to catch Robbie, and Alex was pretty quick in race 1 as well. Me and George had a great battle, and that was good fun. Race 2, I actually somehow managed to get fighting for first on lap 2, and then coming out the hairpin. Things can be discussed later, but unfortunately didn't quite work out. But managed to fight back. Had a great battle with Alex too.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, we caught the end of that as you were going off. So it was such a shame. But to recover to 5th is great. The championship's obviously a long one to go. So you, with Alex having problems as well, you're keeping up with them. I think Robbie's going to be difficult to catch so early on in the season after getting pole position, 2 fastest laps and 2 wins today. But so what's your expectations for the rest of the year? Just as high as possible?
It's going to be pretty much take each race as it comes. Obviously, between me, George, and Marcel, hope to get as many points as possible. I know the team championship isn't exactly thought about really, but it's always nice to get a little bit of pride. I want to just state as well, sorry Alex, we didn't have an incident, but I'm just saying I've definitely got overtake of the week on you, so I did that one in.
You'll have to submit that one so we can replay it on the stream next week.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Ricardo.
Thanks, mate.